Hello, Lisa. Welcome to Inside the Industry. Thank you so much for coming and sitting down with me today.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
I am so excited. Those that do not know you, I'm sure you're getting many new fans, new followers, new people after. As most people know, you play Miss Johnston in Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey on Netflix, which is this is huge. I don't know about you, but this is such a huge deal.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I've been acting for 17 years.
Oh my.
And I mean, I'm a jobbing actress, so it's like, it can be great. And then sometimes I'm waiting for the phone to ring and then it's great again.
Yes.
But this is the first time I have been catapulted, let's say, onto this level. You know, absolutely. Netflix is huge. You know, 190 different countries.
Like, just to think the amount of people that have watched you, seen your face, seen your performance, it's a bit.
And in different languages, in like Japanese and Spanish and French.
It's wild.
I'm a polyglot.
You literally, you didn't even know how many languages you spoke until now.
Right?
I love that. Now I want to get, the thing is too, because it's kind of crazy to me, because I read a little bit about you and it's wild to me, the process in which you even booked this role essentially, which is not even very traditional with the, maybe, you know, casting or your agent or manager. We're like, here's this audition, go out for it, I want you to kind of give us your little story about that. How did this opportunity even come on your lap?
Okay, so, I mean, we're going back 2019, pre-COVID, if we could even imagine what that world was like again.
I wish I could,
So it was a proper face-to-face audition, because at the moment all the auditions are via like Zoom and links and all these kind of things. Yes. So it was a proper audition. I walked in and I did Miss Johnston, and at that stage they didn't know who Miss Johnston was. So I did her with an American accent and I also did her with a British accent. And then, you know, you don't think anything of it. As an actor, you can't get too het up. I didn't really know much about it, other than the little sides that they gave us, because I had to sign an NDA before even being allowed to audition.
Yep. They don't want anything leaked whatsoever.
Right. No. So then we did that, and I put that to bed, and then I got a phone call saying that would I be part of a workshop? And I said, well, yes, of course.
Sure, I'm there.
Yeah. And that was just supposed to be one day. It was a Friday in late January 2019. And then I got to meet David. There were 8 or 9 other actors around the table. And we were just talking about the film, the script, how we felt about it, how we felt about the characters we were playing. And it was all very relaxed. He had his musical team there as well, and some of the producers were there. So it didn't feel pressured. It was lovely.
Sure.
And then halfway through that day, he pulled me aside and said, do you want to come back again next week? And I was like, is that my phone going up? I'm so terrible.
We're so fun, please.
It's like, so he pulled me aside and said, do you want to come back next week? Because we're going to be working on it for the whole week. And then we're going to have a table read.
Oh my God.
Again, I was like, yes. Because, you know, who looks a gift horse in the mouth? You know what I mean? Nobody. So I came back the following week, did a table read. And the table read was in front of some of the Netflix executives. So I got to meet them. Yes. But I mean, I was just shy and doing my thing. It wasn't about networking at that stage. Saying, hello, my name is such and such. I just was there to do my job, and then I left. And then the following month again, I was called back. Do you want to do another table read? Yes, please.
Of course.
At this point now, I'm starting to get a bit hungry.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think, maybe I'm in with a chance of getting this job. You know, this is exciting. Exactly. There's actually a video. So David's very naughty. He took a video of him offering me the job, and I've posted it on my social media. Because at that stage I was just helping out. There was, you know, I had no preconceptions of getting the job at all. And he called me in. So we were in one of the music studios working on some of the music from Miles and Miles and things. And he said to me, you know, what do you think of this song? And what do you think of the script you've been working on? And, you know, me trying to be really intelligent. It's wonderful. I love it. Yeah. And then he's like, and how would you feel if I told you you got the job? What? I think in the video I'm screaming and clapping and shaking my head like, is he for real?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And then after that, there was a further table read, but this time it was with everybody. So I had the opportunity to meet Forrest Whitaker, Felicia Rashad, Keegan-Michael Key, Anika Noni Rose, Madeline Mills. You know, it was insane. I still pinch myself because...
Like, what a room of, like, I mean, these are heavy hitters. I mean, they really stacked up. And as far as just like, I mean, I'm sure it's always like that credit roll. It's like you see all these names and then introducing, and you're a part of that introduction of like, welcome to this space, get to know her. It's I can't even imagine that is just going to be stamped in your memory, just like as a lifetime long. It's wild.
Absolutely. I mean, what's wonderful is, I mean, jumping forward to filming it.
Yeah.
We knew when we were filming it, it was something special. You could just feel it on set. There was this buzz and this energy, and everybody brought their A game. It was fantastic. But now the film, that was last year. So we filmed between May and August last year. So for us over here, that's kind of summer. We, you know, most of the time it's wet and miserable and raining, but during that time, you're pretty much guaranteed a bit of sunshine. And we're in period costume, wearing 5 or 6 layers, corsets, you know, trying to make everything look cool and calm. And really, you know, you're sweating buckets.
As you're dancing and running around and oh my God.
Absolutely. But it was just a phenomenal feeling when we filmed. And then you know, it's my first film as well. And then after you film, you kind of, you know, okay, I've done my bit, that's it.
Isn't that wild?
That's it. And then you wait and you wait. And then this year happened and I wasn't sure if the film was going to come out because of all that's going on. And then now that it's come out, the avalanche of love that is hitting us. People love everything, the choreography, the costumes, the soundtrack. They've fallen in love with Madeline Mills. You know, it's just phenomenal.
Well, it really, and you made a point to it, and other things I've listened to, and it really, for me, and watching it, I watched it with my close family and some friends, and it was really crazy because watching it, like you're explaining, I can imagine the sensation being in the making of it. But even as you're watching it, all what you guys put out there is being received. You're realizing like, this is something special. We haven't seen this. This is going to be something that's going to be in history and we'll be able to put on every Christmas. That's going to be a classic Christmas story that we haven't had. We've never seen it like this, you know? There was so much wonderful inclusivity, but at the same time, the fact that the core unit, main heavy hitters and ensemble are all wonderful Black actresses and actors. It was, and new faces and legends. It was such a huge culmination of just wow factor. All of it hit.
Absolutely.
In every scene, you know?
And David talks a lot in his interviews about being inspired by Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and, you know, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. And I'm the same. I'm kind of the same generation. I grew up watching those films. I love Annie and Oliver and all those films. And actually, I still have those on DVD. I watch those with my daughter. Yeah. So to be a part of that, but to sort of take it to a new level is phenomenal. So
it's phenomenal.
I have a 10-year-old, and on her bedroom wall, she has a poster that says 100 Black inventors. And it shows all the things that, you know, the pencil sharpener and the gas mask and the traffic light and the pacemaker and the security system, things that we're not even aware of these things.
We don't know.
So when I read that script and saw that this is a Black inventor, I just fell in love with it straight away. I was like, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, you resonated with that. Yeah.
Right. However small a part of this, I want that as part of my journey, because this is not something that's ever been done before. And to know that not just, you know, children watching it now, but there are children to come. There are babies being born that are going to watch this in 3 or 4 years' time.
This is going to be what they're, this is going to be what they grew up with. And it's such a phenomenal feeling to see that turnover. I mean, and like you mentioned, your daughter, I mean, she's only what, 10?
She's 10, yeah.
Is this like, is she watch mom on the screen and go, oh my God, was she gassed? Was she in love?
She's completely besotted with it. In fact, we've discussed that we're now going to watch it in different languages. So we're now going to go through it and click on the little box just to change the language, just to see what it sounds like.
Just to see what I look like.
We're just obsessed. We're just completely obsessed with it. And it's so wonderful for her to, we're flying.
Right.
It's magical.
It is magical.
It's such a wonderful feeling to know that we're giving back. And David also talks about all the building names are named after prominent African Americans.
Yes,
there's a little nod to Black Panther in there. There's so many wonderful little Easter eggs that you can find. It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. One of my favorite scenes, I mean, I'm biased, but also I've told you this, even just our brief speaking, is literally the scene of you coming in and singing, and all of a sudden we're finding out, like, wait a minute, this woman loves him. Like, whoa, excuse you, came in and professed her whole love for Forrest, but I was like, okay.
It's crazy.
Hysterical. And you had your little triumph of 3 singers. It just created the atmosphere of even more magical, but just the comedic relief also. Anytime you stepped on the screen, it was like a little bit of lift, a little bit of light in the room. Yes. It was going to be funny. Was that always how your character was set out? Or like you said during the workshop, did you kind of evolve it and took her in that way?
I mean, she was always the comic relief.
She was, okay.
But David, I think Miss Johnston is one of David's favorite characters.
She's cheeky.
He was always tweaking her. He was also, we do the scene, and then he'd say, on the next take, I want you to try. But okay, David, like where is he going with this?
Yeah.
So I was able to be more and more crazy, more and more ridiculous.
Yes.
And I should also point here, Marisha Wallace is the voice of Miles and Miles.
She is, yes.
I was phenomenal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, you're a theater girl yourself, so like
I am.
all these people, so you understand, and it's crazy too, just watching how different that is, but also such a theatrical moment within it. I mean, so it's something that you're performing. You know what I mean? I love that you give it to her because her voice is phenomenal, but it is wild how convincing it is that it is you singing her voice in it. I'm like sitting there like, wow.
I was lip syncing for my life.
For your life, and you won it, yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, on the take, when we were doing it, I'm actually singing live, but obviously turned down to make it more authentic. I'm actually singing along with her, so it looks like. So I'm giving it the veins, right? So I'm giving it, as well as sweating and out of breath as I'm chasing Forrest around the place,
like a full moment. I mean, it's just it's so good, and I really like how David, when he directed. Not that I have any personal understanding of how he moves with direction, but I love the beats. He left a lot of air in spaces that allowed a lot of comedic. It added to the volume and just the drama and the grandioseness of it all. Yeah, and I loved it. So we're sitting there laughing as you're like panting on him, and Forrest is just like, I
love that Forrest was so kind of straight, because it can only work if we're in tandem. So the more ridiculous I am, then the more kind of straight-laced Forrest is. And considering, like, I had literally met Forrest once at the table read. Yep. And then the next time I met him, I was all over him. I was rubbing his arms and like, in between, I'd be like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Dom.
Yeah, like, it's just, this is my character. So
this is acting. I need you to know what acting is. Yeah, exactly.
Right. You're safe. I'm not like some crazy stalker. I just wanted him to know because we had no kind of knowledge of each other before that point.
That part.
I knew him, of course.
Right. No, hello.
Mr. Academy Award winner.
Like, no big deal right here. But that is the crazy thing that it's like, and I don't think people realize that who don't work in the industry or get in these environments. They might think everyone's close or knows everybody, have you this deep understanding and friendship and connect. No, you might, like you had said, maybe it's a table read, maybe it's a couple moments in a workshop, and then boom, you're live in action in a scene. And you kind of have to create that chemistry and both do your jobs so well, but complimenting each other. That's a lot. Did any moment you get like a little nerves, or were you able to really kind of keep it centered?
I felt like there was one point we'd done a scene and then they were doing camera changeover and we were sort of stuck to the side, just sitting. And I felt like this is my moment. I have to say something. I can't let this moment pass. And I said, look, I just wanted to say, it's such an honor to work with you. Oh my God. And I had to do it because it was there. It was there. And I felt like I don't want him to think, oh, who is she? Like it was big for me.
Big.
It was huge. And I wanted him to know that I appreciate this so much. This is such a wonderful moment for me to have you to have Forest Whitaker as part of my acting journey.
Crazy. I was gonna say, for a first film, this is like, they hit you right at the top. Like they really, you got right up on there.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
I have to say thank you to David and thank you to Lynn Sisson-Talbot, his wonderful wife, because they had my back.
They did.
Right from the workshops. He had like a little spark for me. So, I mean, they were auditioning while I was workshopping. They were still auditioning for the part of Miss Johnston. It was all on the social media and stuff. They were still looking for her. So I wasn't sitting back thinking, yeah, I got this. I was working for it. I had to prove I could do this. I could do this. So I'm so grateful for David, for Lynn, for Netflix, for just giving me this opportunity.
Well, and that's the thing too. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, this doesn't happen a lot.
No, and not in that way where it's like, but I was going to say it's a testament to you as well, Lisa, because for somebody's character to be able, and I mean personal character, not Miss Johnston, you coming in and being able to sit in that room and they're still auditioning and people, you had to have been doing work and shining really freaking bright and authentic to be able to sit in that space. And it didn't matter that they were you just kept steady for them. So I think it's a huge testament to not only your personal character and what you offered that room, but your talent and gift as well, which, I mean, I can't see it any other way. I don't know what they were looking at, but you are Miss Johnston through and through in my eyes. I love it. I love it. It's well deserved. That kind of being said, I want to tiptoe a little bit. I want to know, was there it being your first film, okay? And I know I'm a theater girl. I work in Broadway a lot. I grew up in theater. It is very different how we act, how we do things, but also at the same time, it's a film, but it's a musical. There's a soundtrack that you get to be a little bit bigger on screen than maybe a typical film where it is a little bit more subdued. Things are a little bit softer in your expressions and delivery. Did you feel like there were any particular obstacles for you that you had, or learning curves in this process in particular for you, just doing that transfer over to film?
Big time. I mean, there was, so Miss Johnston's line is, get out the way. And we had done the scene and then the sound guy said, they have the little boom stick.
Yep, little boom.
He said, let's just record it for sound. So we've got it down. Yeah. And I gave it, get out the way. And he literally went like that with his headphones. He was like, you don't have to be that loud. And I forgot because I spent the first half of my career on stage. And as you say, when you're on stage, you're performing to the top, to the,
project,
exactly. Not just the people in the front row, because they paid for their tickets and they want to be entertained too. So you've got to give it.
Yes.
So I've been so used to giving it, but I forgot that, when you're on the screen, it's small.
Right
so
here.
you don't, So every little eyebrow means something. Every little twitch, every jaw clench has its own narrative.
Yes.
So that was a huge learning curve for me, and just the scale of everything. Watching the set being built. I've done a little bit of television before, but I just came in and did a little guest part. But this was huge, watching how everything was taking shape and absolutely, and just the amount of cameras there were and the amount of people on set. Like, I sit at home and I watch a program on TV and I don't think about, there were 10 wardrobe people and there were 20 makeup people and there was the grips and the runners and the camera people and the costume, and there's so many people.
There's a lot of people. A lot.
And
to make that machine go.
When they say action, there's almost pressure. I got to get this right. There is actually an audience there, and it's kind of like theater.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's like your audience, but the thing that's sucky about being in film is you have to be so quiet when you're filming the scenes in order, I mean, you're saying your lines and delivering, but the fact is all these people are watching you, but they don't give you the instant gratification of once you've done it, you don't get an applaud, you don't get laughter to be like, I'm doing it right. It's silent. So it's a really hard thing for the ego to be like, was it good? Another one? Like, go again? It's like, what do you do? It's really, I don't know how y'all do it, because I'm the makeup girl sitting on the side like, this is good, but I can't give her anything. It's hard. Right. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Did you have any moments in particular? You didn't have to fly. I don't think I saw you fly.
No, okay. I didn't.
Did you get to
see to fly?
I would too. If I'm seeing people up in harnesses flying, I want to give a go. So my God. But if you mentioned that there's a set, so majority of it was there any moments where you were live in action shooting? Was this shot in the UK?
Yes, it was. It was shot in a studio called Arborfield, which is actually where they filmed, Disney filmed the live action version of Aladdin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Smith. So that was exciting too. I was like,
that was exciting. Who's been here? Yes.
Right? And then they also filmed in Norwich in this quirky little street called Elm Street, and it has all the cobbles. It's a bit of a tourist attraction when people come over to come and visit, and it pretty much is this little lane that looks like an old-fashioned chocolate box. It's so beautiful with, and then once they put the horses in and the period costume, you're completely transported to like, oh my God, I'm in the 19th century. So that was lovely. I mean, it's not good on your feet, especially if you're wearing slight heels, because your feet are constantly
divot. Oh my God. Right. And the dancing and doing all the things. I'm actually, speaking of costumes, I'm obsessed with your costume. And I do love that you mentioned, it's wild that it's a Victorian thing for me, because it took me a moment. I'm like, I understand we're in a period piece. It took me a moment to catch the vibe that we were literally in like the late 1800s, like mid 1800s going through. But I liked that it made sense, but it was a modernness to it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't so traditional that it was so on the nose. And I like that not only was it with wardrobe, but also hair, and the makeup was pretty modern as well. I really enjoyed that. Did you what was your process for the hair and makeup and wardrobe? Was there a bunch of fittings? Did you have any input?
Yes, so Michael Wilkinson is the costume designer, and from what I understand, they flew him out to Africa to kind of source all the cloths and the materials and stuff, because they were serious about how this is the look of it.
Oh yeah.
And I tried on the costume, and initially it was just kind of green. There wasn't much to it, and you kind of have to use your imagination as to what it's going to look like.
How's this going to...
It doesn't fit properly, and they have to take bits in, and they have to pull tuck bits in, and lots of needles, and lots of pins, and you're like, oh, okay. And then, 3 weeks later, you try it on again, and this time the lapels are there. We can get a bit of a sleeve. Taking shape, and it's just I've got pictures of like the progress of it.
It's wild how much
absolutely. Gross. And then finally trying the outfit on, I was a bit like oh my God, I am actually playing this role. I then felt more like my character in putting it on. There's also a tiny bit of a scene that, so after Miss Johnston leaves in her truck, that was supposed to be the end of Miss Johnston, but they felt like people really like her, so they want to see her again. So you see a tiny bit of Miss Johnston at the end when Jerry's flying and Edison's flying, and she runs in going, get down from there.
Yes.
So actually, they made me a second costume, a Christmas costume, they called it, in like 2 weeks. So props to the costume
magicians.
Because the ladies in there were
turn it over. Yeah
exactly. So I had a second costume, which I'm so excited about. And they draw around your feet, so you have shoes that are custom made. In terms of the hair, I had no hair, but at the time I had a little bit of hair, which I had in cornrows underneath. But I had a wig fitted. Yes. So they wrap your hair. We call it cling film, but you guys call it saran wrap.
Saran wrap. That is, you call it what? What do you call it?
We call it cling film. We had a laugh about that. We did the whole, what do you guys call things?
That is crazy. Well, it's the same thing that I realized I didn't understand. People call braids plaits.
Right.
You call them plaits and they're braids. I'm like, plaits.
We actually say cane row, but I said cornrow because I thought.
What? Oh, see, I love it. This is my favorite stuff. I swear it. That's wonderful.
They wrapped my hair, and then they kind of they then sucked it off, and then they made a whole wig that fit my hair exactly. So Sharon Martin was the lady responsible for the wigs, and actually I was overwhelmed when I met her, because she did the wigs, some of the wigs for Game of Thrones. So like,
oh, no,
like, that's what I mean by everybody brought their A game.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
It was a big deal. Yeah, it was absolutely a big deal. And she was very keen to have natural kind of, I say kinky hair, kind of textured hair, I would call it. Yeah, it's not weave. It's right. And that is also an homage to. It was. What I found was, even though the costumes had African cloths and the hair was kind of, Afro, the blackness of it was almost incidental, because the storyline is so universal. Right. It's about family, and it's about second chances and the power of belief. So even though the blackness was in your face, it somehow, it was minuscule, because it was right. It wasn't mentioned. It wasn't about being black.
And I like, right. And but that's the thing I like too. It's normalizing in a sense where it doesn't always have to be like, this is this. It's like, this is just, I should be able to watch a movie and just understand and normalize that this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm appreciating. This is everyday life. These are everyday people. This is life. And it's just weaved in so wonderfully, and it doesn't have to be so pronounced, but like you're saying, it's there. It is there. And if you're aware, I mean, I do hair and makeup, so I'm aware of all the details and going, this doesn't always happen in films. We don't see this. We don't see this. And so it's so beautifully done. And so tasteful in a way that, like you're saying, it weaved with the story really well, but all the tributes, all the Easter eggs, like you mentioned, were there, and they were seen, and they were beautifully done. Beautifully done. Very seamless job. I loved even just the incorporation of what it seemed of people's actual hair, and then wigs as well. It was just a really beautiful mix, like, especially from the young little girls to the old. I loved it. Absolutely beautiful. And that's really crazy. Do you have any fun trailer stories for me in the morning? Did you have very early hours for you getting hair and makeup?
I mean, yes, only because, so I live in London and we were filming in Reading, so it takes 2 hours to get there. So, you might get, I mean, they send a car for you, so I don't have to jump on the underground or the tube or whatever. You know, they send a car at 4:30 or maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you arrive, and then, you might have a quick breakfast, and then it's straight into hair and makeup. I mean, you could be in hair and makeup for an hour, and then maybe costume takes about half an hour, and somebody's helping you.
Oh yeah, you got a whole.
Obviously, because if you're in a corset, somebody needs to be at the back.
That's a whole. I need an assistant.
So, I loved it because it gave me a little bit of a waist.
Oh, honey.
I'm a plus size girl. So
let's go.
To have a waist, it's been a long time.
Give me a little cinch. I'm not mad at a corset. Do I want to wear it all the time? Like, imagine this was a Broadway gig. I couldn't do this for a whole year what? So that's a different thing. But sure. And all in all, how long was your actual shooting? Like, how many days kind of was the encompassment of your actual role?
So for me, it was 14 days.
Wow.
14 days.
See that?
It's mental, isn't it?
Insane. In 2 weeks.
I loved everything. You know, like you were saying, I loved having my own trailer. I loved, the whole costume. I was just like a child because this is my first film. Everything excited me. Just standing in the queue and choosing something from the catering.
Yes. Everything's big. And the thing that I like though, and it's wild, and I wonder, I'm always curious when it's a room full of people that have been doing this, or this is not their first time on a set in that way. I wonder, some people do and some people don't. Do they get that jadedness about them because it becomes their normal? I'm going to work. And I wonder if when people like you are around, it kind of makes them look over and notice like, wait a minute, and just have a deeper appreciation of what an amazing space that we're in. What an opportunity. I know sometimes when I'm getting a little like, I'm cold, it's a lot of hours, these are long days. And then I'll look around and I'll meet even background people that are absolutely ecstatic to be there. And I'm like, Rachel, get it together. It's just a gift. And it's a really nice, I hope you keep that energy because it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I was, like I said, I was excited about everything. I had a body double, Amanda Foster, who has body doubled for Whoopi Goldberg and Halle Berry.
Stop.
Hello.
Wait, I'm thinking, when would you have needed the body double?
Well, it was supposed to be for some of the driving stuff. So I did have a few. So I was driving a vintage postal truck. So the postal truck is 1920s. It has a kind of throttle. It was crazy because you have to go around the truck to slide yourself in. And the wheel, now, like I said, I'm a plus size girl and I've got 5 layers. The wheel literally grazed my stomach as I was trying to get in. Okay, and then I can't feel the pedals through my shoes.
No.
Okay, and so when we had to film, when I practiced, I was in the car park. There were no cars there, and there were no cobbles, and I was wearing flat plimsolls. It was fine. But when we were on set, it was like, here we go. There's cobbles. There's light stands. There's extras crossing. How was that? And then there's David saying, okay, I'm going to change the line. I want you to say, you can change the Okay. And then there's the mic man saying, okay, can you not brush your clothes because we're picking it up? And it was like, I can't do
How
this.
am I supposed to drive? Like, what do you want?
So it was such a learning curve to be able to, there's this thing where you
yeah.
Right, I was doing everything all at once.
Yes.
But there was joy in all of it because it's new and it's fresh and it's exciting and it's challenging to be able to rise to the challenge. But driving that truck, I'm glad that I don't have to drive that.
I didn't even know, because I'm amazed, because usually it's like a little movie magic. I'm like, she's not really driving. Like maybe they're moving things beside her and she's just, that's incredible that you are actually in a moving vehicle.
I mean, there were times when they were pushing it.
Yeah.
I think there were other times, I think when the truck is swerving from left to right, that's when Amanda was driving it. But in general, I learned to drive it, and I did drive it, and I could tick that off on my list. I
was going to say, put that on your resume. I can drive a truck. I can drive a whole big truck, a vintage truck.
But never again, please.
Oh, but never again. Okay, fine. I have it. Don't want to bring it out. I love that. That is hysterical to me. That is so funny. I really also, like you mentioned, which is kind of funny, you come in, you're not there the whole time, but anytime you come in, it was very much like, she's here now and pay attention. And we wanted to hear what she had to say. It was lovely. Even the little mistletoe moment in the car. Oh my God, at the back of the truck. Every moment was hysterical. Would you have any famous or your favorite line that you had to deliver or moment? Was you have a favorite scene that you got to put?
I mean, my favorite line is her key line, which is, the magic isn't in what you've lost, it's in what you still have.
Oh,
I love that line. I mean, my mom's no longer with us, but she always used to say, it's not the people who have gone, it's the people who are left behind that have to struggle with their grief, that have to deal with the day to day. And then, grief is such a personal thing and it takes time and all of this. So that line was key for me because that's my journey, that's my understanding, trying to deal with losing. So I lost my parents. I didn't even know I was going to talk about this.
Oh, my heart.
I lost my parents when just before my 21st birthday. My mum passed and my dad passed. And it was a big deal for me because before that point, I'd never lost anyone. I didn't know what grief was. And I've literally spent the last 20 years dealing with that grief, because there are some days when it's fine, you don't think about it. And then you get times like Christmas or Mother's Day or those things and it is about understanding that I'm still here. I'm very much alive and very much living and kicking. And it's almost like if I don't live, I'm not honoring them.
Right.
Because, they live through me, so if I'm not making sure every moment of my day is filled with joy and happiness and being appreciative and giving thanks, then I've done them a disservice.
What have I, exactly.
So it's for me, that line was beautiful, and I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, and see, and that's
sorry, getting so deep.
No, I'm honored that you even shared it. Thank you for sharing it. Truly, it's so crazy because people don't always realize too, as actors, I mean, you guys have to step into these roles, and like you're saying, we're living, breathing people. So when you take on these roles, and yes, you have to embody this character, but it's the things that then you identify with that character that then it makes it come to life because you genuinely believe, or you have this feeling or a story or your own loss behind that word. It just makes it so much more powerful, and it delivers, and you can feel that. And it's always powerful for me to then hear the story behind it in the person that's delivering. And it just makes it that much more special and appreciated. So that's beautiful. That's more than what I would even think you would say about a special line. So thank you for sharing that. I want to know, I guess the last little wrap you up here. I don't want to let you go, but we're getting there. I want to know something. If you're willing to share, tell us something that people don't know about you.
I don't hear so well in my right ear. I mean, like it sounds like we're underwater in my right ear. When I was 13, I had all these hearing tests.
Okay.
I put this tiny little grommet in my ear, which is like a little straw, because they found that I had fluid on my ear. And the grommet was supposed to kind of release the pressure of that, and it never worked. And they said, you know, should we do the operation again? And I was like, no,
not doing that.
I don't want to do it again. I mean, looking back on it now, like 30 years later, maybe I should have got it done, because I still have the problem. I still can't hear properly.
But when you're trying to sing, does that alter anything when you're trying to sing or hear?
I don't tell people. So if you don't tell anyone, then they don't, you know, if you tell people, oh, I can't hear, they might use that against you and go, that's why
right.
Right. So I don't say anything. Like, until now, nobody really knows.
Oh, great. And now they know. Do not use it against her. Do not let this be the gateway. I don't want to hear it.
That's why they gave it to Marisha Wallace.
Great. Now it's out. We're sorry.
So, I mean, I don't think about it. I just kind of get along. It's normal to me. I've had it since I was like 12 or 13. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
when you swim, I'm asking only because I did know a girl that was like that. She always had to wear earplugs when she swam because it would like bother or do something to her eardrum. Do you ever have to wear little earplugs?
No, not really. I mean, I've always had issues with my ears. I used to get earaches and stuff as a child.
Yep.
But I don't really swim that often. I'm kind of scared of water. Like not like in a swimming pool, although actually in a big swimming pool I'd probably stay near the shallow end of it.
Oh, listen.
Because I like to feel the ground underneath my feet.
I don't need that abyss, just open abyss beneath me. No thank you.
Like in the vast sea.
Oh, forget it.
No, I wouldn't really venture out because I'm scared. I find the sea intimidating.
Super intimidating.
When it's rolling, and when you see it getting darker, which means it's even deeper, my brain just goes, no, that's why God gave me 2 legs.
We're going to stay here. Yeah, I need to.
Right.
I'm the same. I don't want to know what's under there, and I don't want to be the one to find out. So, yeah, no. And I did lie to you because I actually have one more question because I want to know, because you're giving a lot of wisdom. You have wonderful experience. I want to know, is there any advice you would give to people that are new getting into the industry as maybe an actor, performer, whatever it have you? Is there anything a gem you picked up along the way that you wish maybe you knew earlier on in your career?
Maybe don't get too caught up with everything. Just go in there, do your thing. You know, sometimes you walk into a room and you think, oh my God, there are 10 people behind there.
Right.
You know, and you don't know what to do. There's some people say you should go in there and you should shake everybody's hand. But just remember, if there's 10 people, you've got to do it 10 times. Hello, pleased to meet you. Hello, pleased to meet you. By the time you've done the 5th one, in your head you go, why did I start this?
Why am I doing this?
The thing is, don't worry. Whatever you do, just do it. There have been times where I've walked, there was once, I walked into, like, I went the wrong way and I exited. It was a cupboard. Now, I know Martha really did that. And then I did, sorry, it's that way. And then you have to back away. And so that, you know, these things will happen. It's okay. It's normal. Put it down to experience. It's okay. My thing is, what I've learned from David is, so it took David and Lynn 22 years to get Jingle Jangle onto the screen.
Yes.
Now, at any point during those 22 years, he could have just shelved it and thought, this ain't going to work. It's no point. I've tried. It's just not going to happen. But he persevered. So, I mean, if anything I've learned is, you know, if you have something that you love that gives you such joy and passion, don't worry about what anybody else is saying. Your time is coming because you have that in you. You have that authenticity, that passion, that belief, and you will shine. But just don't let other people's perceptions kind of bug you down a lot of the time. So I had an auntie tell me after I had my daughter, she said, somebody, see, you got me talking about things that
I'm pulling it out, Lisa. Let's go. Give me the things.
So I had an auntie after I had my daughter. I had my daughter at 32, and she said to me, so what you going to do with your life? No. Well, she said, you have to get into teaching now, and you're waste your life. Now you see you young people. She said, we came over to this country to give you all a better life, and you're just wasting it. And like, I didn't cry in front of her, but when she left, that's because she was actually right. I was planning to be a teacher. I was starting to fill out the forms to go back to uni to become a teacher. But actually what she did was she put fire in my belly.
Yeah.
She made me go, nah, I ain't ruined my life. It's all right. I'm going to keep acting. And like, maybe had she not even, sometimes the universe gives you things at the right time when you need it.
Yeah.
And she gave me that little nugget, that little push, just when I needed it.
She did it on purpose. She knew.
Right. She knew. And do you know what? I called her during lockdown to thank her.
Oh.
I said, look, you maybe, because to her, maybe she didn't even realize it was such a big moment.
An impactful statement.
Right. She was just saying it because she's in her 50s or 60s, and you got a right to say what you want when you're that age.
Yeah. Now you don't, there's no filter then.
Right. And as her niece, I just have to go,
yes.
So I wanted her to realize that you helped me. You kept me on my path. You don't know this, but you kept me going straight when I was just about to go somewhere else. So I, more power to her for doing that for me. But so different things will come to you at different moments. Just don't lose faith. If you have this desire, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, writing, or any other thing that you do that gives you joy, do it. If 2020 has taught us anything, do the things that give you joy and give you that sense of self, because we need that to get us through.
I was going to say, it's almost a form of survival, and it's also just living. You just have to keep going. Even when, like you're saying, it's a wild thought to think, people don't realize the in-between. Like we're saying, we see the grandiose end result of what 22 years in the making of a movie was. I can't even fathom, even in year 2 or 5 or 7, where I would be at. I haven't even stayed in a job longer than 2 years. So I don't understand that level of commitment yet, but that's astounding, but very well said. You got to persevere, and you just have to keep going. You just have to get up and do it. Lisa, you are absolutely wonderful. And I thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you. I'm so thankful for you coming on this platform and sharing with me your story and your journey with Jingle Jangle. You are a full treat, and Miss Johnston was everything. And now we see you live in action. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It was lovely talking to you. You have a knack of getting things out of people, don't you?
Don't say that. I'm going to get in trouble. I love it. Well, Lisa, thank you. Guys, tune in to the next episode. We're going to drop all of Lisa's info below. Follow her. Check her out on Instagram, all her latest journeys. And please definitely go take the time to watch Jingle Jangle on Netflix. It is still streaming and will be streaming. Take the time. It'll be worth it for your holidays. Lisa, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Take care.
You guys. Bye.